Just ahead on Mountain News this morning, we talked with the family of a woman who spent nearly 1 month in the hospital after testing positive for COVID-19. And while many runs and races are canceled due to the coronavirus, event organizers in Perry County found a way to safely host one this past weekend.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. Today is Monday, April 27th, and my name is Lacey Roberts. Thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning on this a little chilly Monday morning. There's some fog out there, but it's sure to break away to some sunshine. Let's bring in Brandon Robinson. At least some sunshine is what we could use, knowing that there's going to be some rain later this week.
Yeah, exactly, Lacey. So we're going to continue to track that fog this morning, a type of moisture, but not active moisture falling from the sky. Let's take a look at that advisory one more time this morning. And you see it's pretty thick out there this morning. Dense fog advisory until 10 from basically Hazard West out toward Lake Cumberland, I-75, even into parts of central Kentucky and as far down as East Tennessee. And the numbers don't lie there. Less than 1 mile visibility, less than half a mile visibility in a lot of areas this morning. So be extra careful if you have to travel. 36 Somerset, 34 Irvin, 42 Jackson Hazard, 40 in Prestonsburg, 39 Pikeville, 36 Harlan, Williamsburg, and 37 in Middlesboro this morning. Your out the door forecast, well, we are going to see sunshine, as you mentioned, after all this lifts this morning, and temperatures getting into the mid to upper 60s. So enjoy that because some changes are coming. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Lacey.
Thank you, Brandon. And as many churches find unique ways to hold services during this coronavirus pandemic, Millstone Missionary Baptist Church in Letcher County have found a way to help cheer up their pastor as he preaches his sermons virtually. The church may be empty, but yesterday the pews were filled with notes of encouragement and support from family and church members. Pastor Bill Kraft says seeing the notes was a bright moment in these uncertain times.
That thrills me to think about it. We miss our people. That's just like family. It's just a family.
To pull off the surprise, the family spent a couple of days getting notes in from church members. Then 5 family members helped to hang the signs on the pews. And Papa John's founder, John Schnatter, is donating $1 million to help small businesses in America. The John H. Schnatter Family Foundation is distributing funds to nonprofit groups focusing on economic recovery and donating to some small business owners directly. When asked if he has any advice for small business owners struggling through these uncertain times, this is what he had to say to them.
So you got to plan every day. You got to have goals every day. Mark Cuban said something this week. He said, this is the best time in our history to start a business. And I was like, whoa, I didn't think of it that way. And then he kind of clarified that be thinking about where you want to locate your business plan, start getting ready, because to his point, and I do agree with it, there's going to be unbelievable amount of opportunities come out of this once the dust settles and we get back on our feet.
Schnatter is launching a new web page that offers merchandise like face masks and t-shirts in exchange for contributions to his charity. The net proceeds from these sales will be matched by Schnatter and given to the charities focused on small businesses. And as of yesterday, Kroger employees are required to wear face masks. Previously, only certain departments were required to wear face masks, but now they are mandatory for all employees and have been approved by the company and have been provided by the company, Kroger has taken other measures to ensure safety during the COVID-19 outbreak, including limiting the number of customers in its stores and adding plexiglass shields at checkout lanes. Other major retailers, including Walmart, Meijer, and Target, have also implemented similar policies. And it's an uncertain feeling when someone you know or even someone in your family tests positive for the novel coronavirus. WYMT's Madison Pilgrim tells us how one Knott County family had to experience this, and one of their own sat in a hospital in Lexington.
Sheila Thornsberry walks out of Baptist Health in Lexington for the first time in nearly 23 days.
She started off thinking she just had a sinus infection and ended up being in the hospital practically the whole month of April and on a vent most of those times.
Before the virus took hold, a person who helps others.
Very caring, She's a physician's assistant at an urgent treatment center in Lexington. Wonderful mother, just an overall wonderful person.
After testing positive, she was sent home to recover, soon learning she was going to need further help to do that.
She and my brother were watching TV in separate rooms, and he texted her and said, "I've not heard from you. Are you asleep?" She said, "No, I'm having problems breathing."
For Karen Sandlin, Sheila's sister-in-law, waiting day after day in Knott County for the daily update.
At one point, they tried to take her off the vent, and I think she lasted 90 minutes maybe, and they had to put her back on.
After the long journey in the hospital, she is thankful to finally walk out on her own 2 feet.
She is just so happy to be home. She's happy to see her kids, her husband.
As she continues the long road to recovery.
Please take this serious. This virus is real. It is dangerous, and we just want everyone to take the precautions.
The applause and cheering showing the hard fight she fought and won in the month of April. Madison Pergram, WYMT Mountain News.
And that fight against COVID-19 is not over for Sheila. The family says that it could be months before she makes a full recovery. And while many runs and races are canceled due to the coronavirus, the Pathfinders of Perry County held the Co-Runathon this past weekend. Several runners took to the trails at Coalfields Industrial Park to complete their races while social distancing. Runners ran half marathons, 50 KS, and 50 miles. But Michael Montgomery's goal was bigger, 24 hours and 100 miles. Montgomery started at 5 p.m. Friday. Unfortunately, he did not make his 100 miles. He had to stop at the 51-mile marker Saturday morning due to his hip. And throughout quarantine, we've brought you drive-by birthday parties, funerals, and even baby showers. But what about a drive-in ring ceremony? On Sunday, the Pikeville Panthers got their state tournament rings in a drive-through ceremony. Each player came in 5 minutes apart and, of course, stayed 6 feet apart. All players got their ring, took pictures, and drove away. Senior wide receiver Jackson Hensley says this means a lot when so much of his senior year was taken away.
I mean, obviously it's a great feeling, but it won't compare to the feeling of winning the game. And but it's good to finally get this after being at home. It's unfortunate that we have to miss graduation and prom and that kind of stuff, baseball season. But winning this really, I mean, I feel closure with my senior year, so I don't feel like I missed out on anything.
Although the players did not get a normal ring ceremony, being together for this moment made up for the cancellation. And after 6 years as the head coach of Wake Forest, Danny Manning was fired on Saturday. And just days later, we are already seeing some changes to the roster. Martin County's Trey James committed to Wake Forest back in January, but announced on Twitter Sunday that he would be decommitting from the school, saying, quote, "After much thought and discussion with my family, I've decided to decommit from Wake Forest University and reopen my recruitment. I want to thank Coach Manning, Coach Walters, and Coach Childress for the opportunity, and I wish the best to Wake Forest," end quote. The 6'10 center averaged 14.6 points per game and 11.1 rebounds per game during his junior season.
Well, it's time now for our Monday edition of the Daily Helpers and Heroes segment. We continue to highlight more folks who are out there on the front lines today. We're going into the nursing homes and senior care facilities. Our first picture was submitted by Kimberly. This is Deanie Hensley and Kathy Wagers. Kimberly says these ladies work every day to take care of people's loved ones at Landmark of Laurel Creek, which is a nursing and rehab center over in Manchester in Clay County. Our next submission comes to us from Christina. This is her daughter, Crystal Buchanan. She works at Pikeville Community Health Center as the business office manager. Her mom tells us she loves her job and is very dedicated. And finally today we highlight Sam Cowan Jr., who works maintenance at the Laurels in Harlan County to keep everything clean and sanitary for everyone. Carolyn, who sent us this picture, says she is very proud of him. And of course, we highlight folks, not only first responders, frontline workers, everybody who's working on the front lines, essential workers, each and every weekday here, basically right here at this time on Mountain News This Morning. So if you want to get your submissions into us, you can do that on the website. Make sure you put who they are, what they're doing, and where they are located. You can find that link on WYMT.com. Just search for Helpers and Heroes. Lacey?
Thank you, Brendan. And thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. Coming up, we take a look at how the governor plans to slowly reopen Kentucky's economy, with the first steps beginning today.